Welcome parents to the open house video for our AVID class for 11th and 12th graders. I'm not sure if you are aware, but we have 11th and 12th grade combined into one class this year. So the juniors and the seniors are working together, although given that it's digital learning, not really working together, but we'll talk about that in just a second. Let me start by just saying thank you so much for taking time out of your week to watch this video. I realize that we all have things going on right now, some in control, some out of our control. Our schedules may be all over the place. Students are at home learning instead of at school. And so I realize that you may not have been available from 8:20 in the morning to 8:50 when the open house schedule was set. And so I decided that I will make a video and you can watch it whenever you have time, either early in the week, later in the week, next week, whenever you got a shot to go over what we're going to talk about here. Since most of you have been with AVID for a while now, this shouldn't be too much of new information. I know the seniors have had me for at least 2 or 3 years at this point. For the juniors, this may be a little bit of new stuff because you're being introduced to me. Hi, I'm Mr. Charlton. I know that a lot of you had Mr. Moran for the last couple years, and he did a wonderful job in helping students get prepared for what we're doing this year. And so that's what we're going to kind of go over today. Just know that if there's anything on this video that doesn't make sense, or I don't address something that on this video that you want to know about, please reach out to me. At the end of this video, I give my contact information, and so you can reach out to me for anything, any questions you might have, or anything that you are confused about, and I can help you with. Okay. All right, so let's start with the obvious elephant in the room, the fact that we are talking through a computer and not seeing each other face-to-face at an open house. I will start by just saying that it is pretty obvious that this is not our best learning situation, even more so for AVID. AVID is designed to be an in-person type of class, and the fact that we do not get to experience that, at least right now, it causes us to be lacking in some areas. So, you know, obviously the situation is what it is, and we're trying to keep each other safe. So that's why we're all staying at home instead of being in classes. But I will admit, probably as you will admit, that this is not ideal for your student. And I wish that we were all in class together and could work things out on a daily basis instead of having to do it digitally. But we're going to do the best we can. So let's talk about what digital learning is, because digital learning has its own unique problems. Digital learning can be a benefit for students who have these things, or it could be a major obstacle for students who don't. What does it require? Digital learning requires students to be very independent. And what I mean by that is that they have to take on their work and own it and feel like, I'm going to get this done and I'm going to figure out how and when this is going to happen. I specifically set up this class to feed that independent learner model. I want students to be self-managers, self-starters, get things done on their own. My mantra has always been to my students, the day that they don't need me is the day that they're ready for college. And so I want to push them to be able to handle learning on their own. If they don't get something, go find it. You don't understand it, reach out for help. You set up your schedule. You set up when you work. You set up when you relax. You set up all your things. It's your schedule. And so some students are fantastic with that. And some students really struggle with that, especially when it comes to the procrastination and the obvious distractions that are at home with computer, TV, music, little brothers and sisters, and the whatnot. So that is a major thing. If they can handle that, then they're going to be just fine with digital learning. If they are struggling with those tools, then this is going to be a challenge for them. So that goes out with time management. Again, you know, they have to be able to say, I'm going to work at this time, I'm going to play at this time, and not wait right till something's due and do it at the last minute and produce some, you know, not so good work that's just not going to produce. It's just not good. And then the third thing that digital learning requires is reaching out for help. So they don't have me walking around the room like I would be doing and seeing their faces and checking out their work and saying, hey, do you need some help? They don't have that. So if they're struggling, they're confused, they don't understand what they're supposed to be doing, I won't know that until they actually reach out and say, hey, Mr. Charlton, I don't get this. And so we have the check-in meetings each week. The seniors, we go over senior information on Mondays. We go over junior information on Wednesdays. Fridays are the day that they can get help, though. So on Fridays, the way it works is that if they are struggling with something, everybody's supposed to check in on Friday. Just come in, write something in the chat for attendance. But if they have questions, they should stick around and ask me those questions and get the help that they need. If they don't have questions, they can leave after they put something in the chat. But I dedicate the whole 30 minutes on Friday just to help students with whatever problems they may be having, whether it's my class or other classes. I try to help out as much as I can with those classes too. So you got to reach out for help. You got to. All right, what are the things that we're going to be lacking this year because of digital learning? The number one thing that we're suffering is the student-student interaction, which creates our family atmosphere. The one thing I love about AVID and what I love about your students all together in the class is we all know each other, we get along, we help each other. If somebody has a problem in the class, there'll be people who tutor them or help them out. We usually run tutorials. They're like little sessions and groups where they kind of help each other with problems that they're having in the classes. We're missing all of that. And it feels very isolated being at home by yourself compared to the AVID class where they felt very much like everybody here is doing what I'm doing. I can reach out for help. Mr. Charlton's here to help me. And we're missing that. I'm missing it because they were the shining moment for me every day to come and see their smiley faces and go, all right, this is my group. These are my guys. This is why I work. And I'm missing that as well. And so I can only imagine on their side what they're missing too. And then there's that dedicated support. I mean, because I run an independent learner class, when we're in class, I usually walk around the room and I might sit down and talk to the same student for 20, 30 minutes about classes, about college, about what they're looking for their future, any things going on personally that they need help with. And they're missing that. They're missing somebody who they can check in with every day and say, hey, Mr. Charlton, I'm struggling. Now, we do have the check-in meetings each week, but again, it's a group of 30, and you can't have those one-on-one conversations in a group of 30. If they do want to have a conversation with me, of course, they could text me, they can email me, they can Jupiter message me. If they want to set up a phone call or a video conference, we can do that too. But, you know, I'll be honest, the students don't feel comfortable doing that. But in class, if I was walking around, they would have no problem with, hey, Mr. John, I got a question for you. It's not going to happen here in digital learning as much. And that's one of the things we're missing. So that's digital learning. Let's understand that it's just not ideal and we're doing the best we can. So I understand that out of the students, and hopefully the students understand that out of me as well. All right. What is our goal? What is this program all about? So you should be an AVID because you said, or your student said, I want to go to college. And now it is time to make that happen. So the 9th and the 10th grade year, we're all about getting you those skills of organization, note-taking, reading, writing, presentations, group work, collaboration, rating good questions, study habits, how to take tests, how to pass tests, all those skill sets in 9th and 10th grade we kept pushing to develop and develop and develop. Well, now as juniors, it's time to start putting those skills to work and getting ready for college. And as seniors, it is time to apply. It is time to get yourself from high school to college. And so those are what we're doing. But understand that I just don't want to get your daughters and your sons into college. I want them to get into college and I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to be able to handle it. I want them to know that I can take on these classes and I will get this degree once I start college. Because the last thing we want is them going to college and spending a bunch of money and then feeling they can't handle it. And we don't want that. We don't want any dropouts. We don't want any of that stuff. So I just don't want to get them there. I want to have them be ready to. All right, so let's talk seniors first. Seniors. So they know this. If they don't know this, I don't know why they don't know this. But right now we are going over college applications, and the work for my class is pretty much to do their college applications. I have put note-taking to the side. I have put other assignments to the side. From now until November, it's all about what colleges you're applying to, what is the things you need to get done, what are the application fees and waivers and personal statements and transcripts and all the stuff that they have to do for college. Let's get it done because applications are due in usually October, maybe in November, depending on the school. So that is our focus right now as the seniors. I don't want them worried about anything else from me accept college applications. Now, I will tell you that we had a conversation last week where a lot of them were telling me I'm getting overloaded with the English class or my math class and these other things. Here's the advice I gave them. And, feel free to have a conversation with your student as well. But here's my advice to them is if you have to choose between getting my college applications done or writing that essay for English or getting my college applications done and getting ready for that math quiz or that math test, that's just one essay. That's just one quiz, okay? Maybe you get an F on it. Hopefully not. Maybe you get a C. Maybe your grades dip a little bit. But if you can get your college applications done and you get into that university at the end of this year, then all you need for your senior year is to pass your classes because your transcripts are already going to be sent, next 2 months before grades even come out as a senior. And so I want to make sure that they're putting their focus in the right place because what typically happens with seniors, especially if they're the first in their family to go to college, is that they are like, well, I got to get A's and B's because they've been trained that way for 12 years. Got to get A's and B's, got to get A's and B's. And I'm like, yes, I do that, but don't sacrifice the college applications because if you forget to do the college applications, at the end of the year, you'll have your A's and your B's and you'll get your diploma and then you're not going anywhere. And I don't want that to happen to anybody. So I would rather have the grades suffer for a month or two while they get the college applications done than not get the college applications done. As a college student, you should be able to kind of balance both. But if there is a choice there to be made, I would put the choice on the college application. So that's the advice I gave them just from my own experience. But please feel free to share your own experience with the students as well. But that's what they'll probably be telling you if you start to see their grades dip a little bit here in the next couple months, is that Mr. Charlton told me to focus completely on college applications. That was my advice to them. All right, in November, December, and January. In fact, in November, you're going to get some information about a FAFSA night. We're going to do this with the IB program. What FAFSA is the financial aid program. So this is where students can get scholarships, grants, money for college, which parents they start to smile a little bit because they're like, yes, get some money for college so I don't have to pay for this stuff. And so the window opens in November, so we're going to start this thing in November because the sooner they can get that financial aid stuff in, the more likely they'll, one, get money, and two, they'll get more money because the earlier you get it in, I've heard that people get more money in the beginning than they do at the end. So in November, hopefully you'll come to that FAFSA night, and then we're going to start to need financial information. Your students are going to be asking for things like taxes, past taxes, which parent or guardian signed them as a dependent on their taxes. All that stuff's going to be coming up. So if you want to start gathering those things now, they're going to need them in November to get those FAFSA applications completed. And then once FAFSA is done, what we're going to be working on from February to June is going to be just, getting your grades up, passing all your classes, and, figuring out which school you're going to say yes to. Hopefully they're getting their letters back from school saying you've been accepted to here, you've been accepted to there, and now they have to start doing tours and go to those schools and check them out and make sure they're the one they want to go to. Then they pick the school that they want, and then we spend the rest of the year just making sure we graduate and getting all hyped up for the next step of their life, which is to be at college. And your babies this time next year will be in a 4-year university going to college. And that's an exciting feeling. That's where they're going to be. That's where we want them at. All right. So that's kind of the rundown for this year. And everything we're doing digitally is to get them primed for that. Everything I'm talking about right now with the seniors is all about that stuff. They have the skills, they have the tools. The seniors, I feel, are strong academic students on the whole. And right now, that's where we're focused. Get you to college. And I think once they're there, they're going to be just fine. They're going to be just fine. All right, juniors. Okay, juniors, you saw where we're trying to take you for next year. So then basically this year is to get you ready for that. So because you're coming over from Mr. Moran's class, one thing I want to make sure of is, can you handle that time management? Can you be an independent learner? And I'll be honest, so far, for a lot of the ladies in the junior class, they've been showing me that they are fantastic. They have been doing their work. They've been getting in on time. They've been asking questions. I've just been very impressed with the junior group so far. So kudos to them and keep it up. because they seem to be on point with their time management and their independent learner skills. We are going to solidify their knowledge about future colleges and careers. So what do I mean by that? I don't want the people to just go to college because, you know, you got some guy like me telling you to go to college. I want them to know that college is a stepping stone, just like high school is a stepping stone. College is a stepping stone to what? What is the world? What is your dream? What is your career that you're looking for after college? And so maybe they know, maybe they don't know. We're starting to get them to think. We've done some surveys so far this year just to kind of say, you know, what does your personality say about you? What kind of careers and fields of study could you look into? But I'll be honest, a lot of the juniors in the PowerPoint that they did really showed me like that they have an idea of what kind of career they want. And so that's great. And then now we know why we're going to college, and then we can find a college that does what we need it to do for us. That's what that's all about. We're going to be going over the college application process and all the different parts and what's required of somebody to fill out the college application, which is a big headache. If nobody in your family's ever done it before, it's a pain. But that's what I'm here for, is to teach them how to do that. I don't know with COVID-19 right now whether we're going to be having SATs or not. If we have SATs, it'll be happening in the spring. So as a junior, you'll want to take the SAT in the spring, get your score back. If you like it, you're good. If you're not liking it, then you'll take it again next summer, and then that'll get you ready for your college applications next fall. And we're going to be doing SAT. Once I learn that the SAT is actually happening, we'll start doing SAT prep, practice questions, reviewing practice tests, working together. The math is usually the sticking point for most people, so we'll be doing math problems together to kind of help you get ready for that SAT, if it's happening. And then the last one is to start preparing for the applications. So like writing a personal statement, going over things like scholarships and how to get scholarships and more free money for school. You know, transcripts, you know, what kind of majors you want to major in, like personal information, application fees, all that stuff we want to try and be hitting this year, because by the time we get to June, I want you like, I'm ready, give me these college applications in August, and let's get rolling, just like the seniors are right now. And that's pretty much what we're looking at with this year, okay? So hopefully that gives you a nice overview of what I'm about. Obviously, there's a lot of details to the class, but like I said, the seniors have known me, so I'm not worried about them knowing the details, and the juniors have been rocking it so far. So I feel like they have a pretty good grasp on what we're doing. But if you need to contact me for anything, the best two ways to get a hold of me quickly are either a Jupiter message or text me at that phone number. That's my cell phone. I usually respond within an hour or an hour or two. Email I will check, but I only check that about once a day. So you may not always get a reply email very quickly, but Jupiter message and phone is the best way to get a hold of me. If you have questions, anything about college, anything I can answer, need help, support, whatever I can do for you, please let me know. And that's what we're doing. That's our class. So with that, I will say thank you for coming. I appreciate all of the support that you're giving your students at home. And for the seniors and juniors, it's all about college. So let's get it going. All right. See you, everybody.